Hello. Yeah, hi guys, and welcome to Life with Wanjalaz. So, I have just thought to come up on Monday to bring you a conversation here that I'm sure most of you would appreciate. So, welcome so much from wherever you are tuned in from. So, the conversation today really is about the things I have learned in my tours to the different constructions that I have been able to bring you to our YouTube channel. So it has not been without lessons. I know that there is things I talk about right within those videos as I capture those stories, but there are things that I have my views on which I have never been able to bring, because you see, of course, I'm not paid. I'm not a consultant paid to give advice on the construction site. And I also just want to be sincere. I'm not a construction expert. Actually, also the conversation that we're going to have here today is just pretty for informational basis. And I'm not going to use it as a basis to say I'm an expert or anything. No, guys, I'm not a construction expert. So whatever I'm going to share here is pretty much just my views, all right, based on what I have learned in the site visits that I've been able to make. Sorry, I'm just adjusting my light here so that, guys, you can be able to see me well. I think that should work. That should work. Okay. Oops. Okay, that should work. Yeah. So, guys, sorry about that. So, to just let you in on a few things that I have learned, especially the interior and the finishes. This video is pretty much about the interior and the finishes of your house when you're building it. I have learned a few things that I just want to bring you up to speed with. I'm also just checking that I'm still live so that we can proceed. Great. I think we are good to go. So, guys, I have learned a few things which I have always taken note and I have been writing them down. And the goal plan was to later come on and just bring you these lessons. Remember, we are building a community where we can exchange best practices, where we can learn from each other, so that those who are doing construction can maybe avoid some of these mistakes, yeah, so that you cannot repeat them in your site when you're doing them. When you're continuing with your project. So wherever you are tuned in from, so this is Wanchala, and we appreciate your support. If you don't know what we talk about in this channel, we talk about personal development, construction, home building. We're also telling our own story because we are on this journey towards becoming first-time homeowners in Kenya. And we are doing so with very limited resources and on the go. So the funds that come in is the funds that facilitate us to move forward in the next steps. So wherever you are tuned in, please feel free to drop into the conversation, comment. I'll be following and tracking your comments so that we can have a conversation on the go. So what are some of the things that I have actually found out? Number one, so the exteriors, now the skeletal structure of the houses I have toured, most of them actually have been very, very well done. And I really appreciate the sacrifice that the owners of these houses are putting into their projects, because we know that building a house, even just a single room house, is not a joke. It takes a serious toll on someone's mind. It involves lots of resources and a lot of a sacrificial living, really, to just be able to put any structure together. So first of all, I want to say congratulations to all those who have been building. I want to send a shout out to tell you guys that actually what you're doing is super, super amazing and it's super, super great. All right. Then number two, I just wanted to let you know that there is always a room for improvement. There's always something you can do to learn and course correct things that have gone wrong. And that's why I come to you with this conversation. And I have said these are just my observation. This is not expert advice, all right? This is just my views on some of the issues that I have seen. So the exteriors for most houses have been very well done. So the skeletal structure of the houses that I have toured so far, very great. You see, when you look at a house from far, it looks amazing, it's beautiful. The design idea of the same is just nice and brave, very outgoing, very well thought out, innovative, if I must say. And guys, we truly appreciate and see all of you for that. Okay. So I cannot go without saying that indeed I have seen designs that have even challenged me. I have even had to rethink what I was doing when I was, drawing the architectural plan or projecting that architectural plan or design of our floor house. Okay, so there are things I've been like just saying, hey, and yeah, I have been challenged. I could have done better here. I could have done better there. For example, the space size. So there were things that I think right now I could have improved on my own side just by learning from others, the sites that I have visited so far. So let us just jump right in the interest of time. So one, when building your house, this is what I want to bring you up to speed with. Consider from the get-go having a vision for each of the spaces that you want to include in your house. I have seen some projects. For example, there's that two-bedroom project that I brought you guys. And as you can see, the owner was telling me about the fact that he now wants to introduce washroom areas within the rooms, which have already been built. And when you look at the spaces, they could be maybe strained to include washroom facilities within them to make them all en suite. It would stretch even the hygiene perspective of the house. So one thing that led me to think or to just get as a take home is that anytime you're building your house, think about the vision you have for each space. Yeah, think about the vision you have for each space in terms of, if you want all en suite rooms, don't wait until when you've gone too far, you have drawn the plan, it has been approved, you have actually built the structure, for you to now rethink and say, oh, by the way, I needed an all en suite setup. Because number one, it might be expensive to redo the walling, the partitioning, and then number two, it might be a bit strenuous in terms of the actual functionality of the space. All right, so some things might not really work so well together when you try to now force them in later. All right, and it might be problematic. It might be problematic on your end. So just think about that. All right, so if you are intending to build a house, to me, my perspective is that you need to just first sit down. If it is maybe with your partner or you alone, sit down and ask yourself hard questions. What do I want to experience in the house that I'm building? What is the vision I have of the different spaces, the lounges, the living spaces, the bedroom and sleeping areas? Yeah, what are my needs? Then when you answer those questions, if you cannot find a suitable architect to actually implement these things, yeah, you might try by starting to include an interior designer. Share with them your thoughts in advance. Tell them, by the way, these are my needs. I'm thinking about 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the space that I'm working with, and even this is the budget that I'm working with. They can be able to guide from the get-go before you even get that plan drawn. Yeah. And one thing I have come to find out is that actually, unlike what we thought, interior designers, hiring professional interior designers is not as expensive as you might think in the long run. Because what is expensive is doing something only for you to realize you got it wrong, then you have to redo it. It becomes even twice costly. All right. So that is number one. Think through the vision of the spaces you have and ensure that those are catered for, that the floor plan that you go with, the floor design that you go with is actually reflective of that. That will save you a lot of money, time, and also peace of mind. Something else that I have also seen, it's about size. So size is very important. Right now on Friday last week, this previous Friday that we had just come from the weekend, an interior designer visited my site. And while I was so happy about the design concept that I had in my head, there were things I had gotten right, but there were also many others that I had not gotten right. including the space size. For example, the master unit, according to the vision we had for our master unit, I had squeezed it too much. So you realize there are some walls that are going to go, and there's a part of my corridor, and you know I love long corridors. I have to give a part of my corridor so that I can extend my bathroom. Yeah, even the windows on my living room, I'm going to enlarge one and close another small one so that we just have two large ones. And they explain the functionalities of the same. Yeah. So what I'm trying to say is this: the sizes of the spaces that you are working with are important. Yeah, they must marry the vision you have for the space. In other words, I'm giving feedback, including drawn from my own personal lessons. Okay. Yeah, so guys, for those who are watching right now, and for you who will tune in later and watch, we're talking about some lessons I have learned as I tour the houses that I have brought to you so far in our content. Then let us talk about the interior. So the interior is actually what truly defines and sets your project apart. So you might have a very nice exterior, but you know, we don't live on the exterior of the house. We actually live within the interior of the house. So the interior design of a house becomes like the most subtle element that you are working with. Okay, I have seen individuals who have used millions so far in their construction project, and when you enter into that house, for example, let me use the very last project I brought you guys from Bungoma County. When you look at it from the exterior, it is wonderful, it's amazing, all right? But when you enter into the space, there are things you would have done differently. And I have said these are my own personal views, because the owner of that house has their own preferences and tastes. Okay, so but what can we learn? Number one, let us talk about the features. Now, there's this common feature in Africa and in most homes, yeah, where we have the area called the kitchen serviette, or the kitchen window, that small window that opens from the kitchen towards the dining area. Now, this is my view. If you are to include that space for your house or on your house, consider at least having it as 50% of the wall on which you include it. Meaning you can have, say, the wall from the ground up to a certain level, maybe the waist level, then the rest of the space should be open. And the reason why I'm advising this, or why I'm saying this, is I have like toured like 3-4 spaces, and the execution has made that wall look so crammed. Yeah, it is so crammed because that opening is too tiny. All right. So the idea is, if you're building a house and you're having a great exterior, is that the inside of that house should maybe be twice as beautiful and twice as functional as the exterior of your house. So what does it mean? Consider having spaces. For example, if it is in this current age, you know, styling and interior designers of 2024, I have been researching on the internet, asking a few people questions, and one thing I have found is that in this age and era, we want spaces that are very fluid. Yeah, fluid to mean they are very natural flowing, conversations can naturally flow. We are trying to reduce as many barriers as possible to the rooms and spaces we have within our houses. So what does that mean? It means, for example, that wall feature, that opening of the wall, you can maybe have, if you don't want a completely open plan design, ensure that it is large enough, yeah, so that the people sitting at the dining can actually be able to see a glimpse of what is happening in the kitchen, and vice versa. All right, so making it too tiny makes the place look cramped, as I have said, and a bit unappealing. Okay, otherwise don't include it altogether. You can just leave it out. For a modern feel as of 2024, if anything, think about going the open plan kind of perspective. It makes the room airy, it makes it, you know, the light spreads into the space. And if your kitchen is actually small, what it does, it actually magnifies and increases the feel of the space for your kitchen. All right. So if it is small, it makes up for the smallness by at least expanding the view of the eye, so that people can feel like they are in a very cozy and open space. Something else, the gypsum finish. I know that in most modern houses, guys are thinking to go the gypsum way. And let me just see if I have any comments here first. So before we talk about the gypsum space, yeah, okay, let me see whether we have. I'm just checking to see that I don't have any comments, so that you are part of the conversation. You don't want to miss anything, eh? Sorry guys, I'm just there. We are just trying to see and realize that we are not losing out on the conversation. Okay, so we want to now talk about the gypsum, because I have toured the last two projects I have toured that were completely finished. There was a struggle with the gypsum, and then that made me realize that there is a problem about execution. Yeah, so the execution of the projects that we are running. Remember, building is very expensive. Yeah, building is not cheap. It's very expensive, and after you have done your house, after you have finished your house, you want to enjoy the space as well as the fruits of your labor. You know, the amount of effort that you have put in should be something that is very serious. Okay, and one thing I have noticed is that the gypsum might let you down. Okay, that's what I'm trying to say. Yeah, so the gypsum might let you down. And remember, if your exterior is beautiful, then when somebody gets into the house, the interior is just like a letdown. You will never feel proud about your investment, the investment that you have made. And here are a few highlights about the gypsum story. Find an expert. Find an expert. I think you cannot compromise with the gypsum, because it is something that is very apparent in the house. It's very visible. You cannot hide it. Okay, so the gypsum is one of the things that, or what would call the ceiling, is one of the things that you must, and I want to repeat, I think you must get right. Okay, because it is obvious, it is, you know, all over the place in your house. Yeah, so it's something that at least getting right would elevate the feel of your house, plus also just give you the confidence and the joy in the investment you put. So one of the things I figured is, number one, the color. So think about the finish in terms of the white color, but then do you want any additional extras, especially with the lighting? Because I have seen that if you complicate the gypsum too much, the feel just goes away. All right, the vibe just goes away. So when you're doing your gypsum, I would rather you think of hiring the best of the best, because it starts with execution. So if the guys who are executing your project are just quacks or learning on the job, so I would maybe recommend something like, can you research properly? Ask even for the portfolio of previously done jobs before you can entrust them with your project. Because the caliber of execution of gypsum sometimes can be so poor, yet it is very expensive to do it. Yeah, and these are some things that I have learned along the journey. I'm also very observant now going forward into my project. Guys, you know that our house is pending roofing, then of course the finishes. And I'm glad that we are having this conversation right now, because it has also opened my eyes a lot. Yeah, it has opened our eyes, and right now we know how to hire, we know who to hire and how to hire, and the things to look out for in the process. So the caliber of your gypsum needs to be just done right. So ensure that you're getting it right completely from the get-go. So avoid complicated lights, complicated designs, because the more the complication, it means the more the expertise is required. So if you can, try to go for very simple but elegant designs for your gypsum. Okay, avoid lights that are complicated and all over the place. Again, I'm repeating that, because if it is executed poorly, you won't like it. You won't like it. It will be very bad. It will be very, very, very bad. Yeah, so think about that. Something else that I want to also bring to your attention is tiling. Tiling, as with the gypsum, tiling is like, it is everything in your house, because it is all over your space. One thing I have noticed is that most people who do tiling, especially in the village, in the rural setup, some of them are not experts. Some of them are actually learning on the job. And I brought you that story of one who finished so badly my latrine, my external latrine of the house. All right. So the grout work, especially, it is not a seamless grout finish. Yeah. So you might think like ekelewa carelessly. So think about it. And also when you're thinking about the tiling, think about the theme of your house. And this is something I should actually have said from the get-go. When you're finishing your house, the theme becomes an important aspect of the construction of the house, especially for the finishes. What is your theme? Think about maybe two or three colors at max. Yeah, because what I have seen is that if you also want to include so many colors, and you remember the Kakamega project, guys, that I brought you, yeah, that Kakamega project, the one with the drone views. The execution of the tile was not to the pleasing of the owner of that house, because there wasn't just consistency in the themes, the colors were off, they were not marrying with the walls, and everything was not working the way it should have. So what are we saying? From that project, or from that work, we can draw conclusions and say that tiling is very critical, and ensure you have a theme. Yeah, so even if you're working with an interior designer or whoever is executing that for you, first of all, apart from just making sure that they have the prerequisite expertise to run with that project, ensure also that these guys actually know what your vision for the space is, and let it marry. And if an expert, so-called expert in quotes, that you've hired cannot even bring some objections on some issues that you have, because by the way, some of us are not very well blessed in terms of preferences and tastes, and I'm sorry to say so, but it is true. Some of us, for example, we are colorblind. we might be tempted to choose colors that are not auguring so well. So if your expert cannot tell you, given the vision you have for your exterior and the colors you're choosing for your exterior, for a seamless finish, we think you need to go with this and this color so that they will marry, so that it is not a shouty affair, and so that things are not complicated and, you know, just all over the place. We have nice contrast and not too much monotony. I think if your expert cannot be able to come in and marry their expertise with your vision and correct some issues, then just know that you're hiring the wrong person. You just know it, that you have actually hired somebody who's not so sure about what they're doing, or they're a quack. Yeah, so think about that so much. Then something else about tiling is think about the caliber of tiles that you are using. Yeah, also the type of tiles that you are using will determine also the extent of expertise that is required, and also the patterns that you choose would also just determine the caliber of expertise. Otherwise, you'll have a very grand vision, but then if poorly executed, inaribika kabisa, it just looks so off. Okay, then in conclusion on the tiling issue, so blend and contrast, that is okay, but then do it skillfully. All right, let's talk about the rooms kidogo. And I know I had just alluded to space size and whatnot, but let me just talk about something. One, the master. The master unit. When you're building your house, I want to believe that when you're building your house, it is for you. All right. So it is your house. You are building it for you. All right. Whether you have children, whether you'll be hosting visitors, the first thing is that the truth is you will be building the house for yourself. So it is your house, it's your own. So the master bedroom, there's no single way your master bedroom can be the smallest unit in the house. It doesn't make sense. All right. It doesn't make sense at all. Okay. So the master unit must be the biggest unit, yeah, as far as possible. The master unit also needs to ensure that it captures or caters for good size storage. All right, and I'm correcting this, or rather giving my views on this, because I have seen the execution somewhere. Yeah, I think in the last video, without any prejudice, I brought you the video, and the comments I received actually prompted me to come, live today and do this video, because we are sharing and exchanging ideas and learning from each other. So guys, one thing I can say is that think about it. If it is your house, it's your space, Give yourself some room. All right, give yourself some room. It's your house, so give yourself some room. Ensure you can accommodate everything you want to accommodate in your master. Ensure it has good size for the bathroom and your bathroom unit. In fact, all bathroom units need to be spacious enough and need to be well lit. So meaning they need to each have a window bringing in natural light. I know that in some cases it might not be possible, but try as much as possible from the designing point. Yeah, ensure that each of your rooms at least get natural lighting. There's no single way your bathroom can be without natural lighting. All right, just for freshness and that airiness and the light. Yeah, otherwise it will be dumpy. It might not be that good for you. Okay, and also its space really matters. Then, while we are still talking about the master, let us talk about why it's important to also just sacrifice a little bit and go in for a fine finish within the interior. So you might have a very nice exterior of your house, very well done, but when you enter into the house, can you please complement that with some same level of finish? For example, even the accessories that you choose for your house, the tap faucets, think about what? Think about, say, the types of lights that you install in your house, even the doors, the flash doors, and the doors that you install, separating units, maybe the door from this entry to this entry, the bedroom doors. I think if you have decided to go with an elegant finish, we always say in Swahili there's a saying that says, when you have eaten the entire bull, will the tail defeat you? Meaning, kama umemla the whole, in Swahili, that is basically what it says. So it means that give yourself time. And no wonder we actually advise, and that's why we decided, we have been advised very many times about, and remember I said I am not a construction expert, I'm just sharing lessons gathered in the field as I do my content. We have been advised and we took it, and we are advising many more others who are building. If you don't have lump sum money, you can go space by space. There's no problem. Go space by space. Do the living room only. Do it to the highest that you can go with your budget. Yani the highest stature possible, the best stature possible for your house that you can go with your budget. All right. If it's an elegant finish, ensure that even the accessories you choose, even the faucets for the taps, even the handles for the drawers, let them speak something about the elegance that you want. All right. Otherwise, if we have an expensive look on the exterior, then the interior, where you actually dwell most of the time, remember, you're not just building the house for the outsiders or for people to see how beautiful it is. You actually need to enjoy from the inside. So in fact, for me, I was making fun recently with my partner, and I was telling her, for me, I can even decide to just have a rustic and, not so pleasing exterior of the house. I was just jesting, but then give the best that there is within the interior. Pay attention, because, we don't live on the roof. Yeah, while the roof is an important thing, we don't live on the roof. We don't live on the walls, on the external. We actually live within the house. So think about paying attention to the finish within the interior of your house. Let it have that seamless, elegant flow. Yeah. And some of these things is not even about a budget issue or a money issue. It is just, number one, I think, a planning issue, an execution issue, and also an issue of research. Okay. If you research a little, you might find that there are affordable, stylish options that you can infuse in your finishing of the house. So it doesn't have, quality does not always connotate expensive, because we need to have that conversation as well. Most people might think that expensive is what is quality. That is not true. There might be simple but very stylish finishes that will make your space look so elegant, vibrant, cozy, come off as expensive, as opposed to thinking, it just has to be the expensive route. So that calls for a little research work. So just research who's selling what that I need in my house, what options exist for the finish of my house. There could be option A, B, C from vendor A, B, C. Then just gauge. You might end up finding there are very valuable items that you can include in your construction that are inexpensive. Okay, and just get that perfect finish and glow for your house. Then we've talked about storage. So for each rooms, really ensure each room has enough storage. If in fact you can infuse and include storage spaces in multiple areas within your house, even better, by the use of inbuilt spaces within different units within the house, the kitchen, the pantry, even the dining area. The more space you have, the better, all right, because then it will save you with clutter. It will save you with clutter, because even where we live right now, there's that video I did where I walked you about, I walked you through how we chose the floor plan and the design plan that we did. And the current house where we are living, of course, is a rental, but I have a lot of clutter in the house, okay, because we don't have enough storage spaces in the house. So when you're building your own house, you need to ensure that it provides for the space that will serve you and your family in the present and even in the near foreseeable future. So ensure that is very well captured. Then I have talked about doors as well. Just let them be seamless. Then about doors, let us talk about the fabricated doors kidogo. So in the last two projects, I think one of the projects, the last one, I saw people complain about the caliber of the door fabrication. So people commented and they were like, that guy messed up that owner of that house. And remember, we are saying, you as the owner of the house, you, the person that is building, you are very genuine, you want the best for yourself, but if you have no elements, or what I'd call the checklist, to weigh some of these things against, and that's why I'm giving this video. I'm hoping it becomes part of the checklists, okay? Part of the checklist that you guys can be able to like check through as you're doing some of your things. And that's why when others are commenting on our videos or videos such as these ones, always just want to check out what people are saying, because in doing so, there's a lot that you also get to learn, okay? So ensure that you have a checklist, like you have bare minimums against which you are gauging the execution of the workmanship that is going on. And most importantly, also just trying to understand, is this what I'm looking for, okay? So the doors, the fabricated doors, ensure that they are well done. And the only way I've said that is to research in places where people have already done it. Yeah, go on the internet, check the ideas that are available, and also go to the fundis. If you walk around, for example, in your area, you might see where there are fabrications being done. Go and just inspect by way of passing. What nature of work is being done? What is the output that these people are giving? Then you can be able to easily choose who has the best craftsmanship and who you can go with. You can even visit your friends who've already done construction. Check out, okay, who has the best fabricated windows, doors, what, so that you're not messed. Yeah, so that you're not messed. And remember, some things are worth paying for. Meaning, if somebody has the best expertise and maybe they don't have so much friendly terms, you might decide to cough up that little extra cost and just get the best. And that's why I was saying, some of these things, decide to do them slowly but surely. Do them slow but sure. Yeah, you know that I'll never regret because of this and that. And of course, we are saying this knowing that also construction has a lot of personal preferences. The budgets that people are working with are very different. And then number three, also, the exposure that we have is very different. You know, some people are more exposed than others, and in general, they will want better things than others. So they are able to vet better than others because of the exposure that they actually have. Others don't have that, so we cannot also judge. Yeah. Then one thing that I was forgetting, car garages. I think if you're including a car garage to part of your house, yeah, in the design of your house, one thing I would say is that consider making it spacious enough to maybe accommodate 2 cars, yeah, and maybe to just also accommodate your extra equipment, for example, mowers, yeah, grass mowers, what else, things to do with home equipment, basically, all right, your generator, some things. So if you're deciding to attach it to your house, also ensure that it is very spacious enough, and so that it does not cram the house as well. Yeah, that is just part of the feedback that I've been seeing along. And remember, I'm not an expert. Yeah, so this is not expert advice. I'm just going through what I have been picking from comments from all over and whatnot. Yeah, then is there anything I'm not? Okay, so in conclusion, number one, research before you make any decisions concerning your finish or the finishes of your house. Okay, research suppliers, research service providers, research. Then number two, always ask for portfolios. Portfolios are, if you can actually physically go and visit to inspect some projects that these people have done before you hire them, even better. If they have videos or photos of the same, want to compare and contrast. All right. Then, as part of asking for portfolios and part of researching, ask questions. By way of asking questions, you can actually vet and be able to see who is the best fit for you. Yeah. But most importantly, I think seeing is believing. See the caliber of work they have produced before and seek for something called repeatability. Even in biology, the caliber of the research or the quality of a research and its methodology is measured by the repeatability of the same. So somebody can show you a one-time job that they did that was pretty great, all right? But that does not mean that they can be able to replicate it. Yeah. So check out that they have actually delivered quality more than 2, 3, 4, 5 times. Yeah, before you can hire. And then in line with that also, make sure you are engaging experts. And not everybody who calls themselves an expert is an expert. Because you'll bring them on site only for you to learn, hey, this guy was actually learning on my site. Yeah. So engage experts only. And I have said, expert does not always connote expensive. All right. So you can get experts, but within your budget. And then it's always important to engage your experts, but then also mention your budget. Tell them, by there, I'm looking to spend this much on the interior design for my house. Okay. I'm looking to maybe spend 1 million for the gypsum, the cabinetry, and what. Then they will even lay down, if they are genuine and expert people, they will lay down some strategies you can use to ensure you are infusing style and elegance in your project. And I told you, on Friday, we engaged the services of an interior designer, and we really wished we had included them earlier than even now. Yeah. So that we could get that kind of expert view of the same. So engage experts. And then last but not least, know when to engage the experts. And we are saying in conclusion is ensure you're engaging your experts as soon as you think about construction. Otherwise, you can be messed. So guys, those are some of the things I wanted to just bring you up to speed with, on the issues to avoid and the things to watch out for, and also the things to just stay prepared on as far as construction is concerned. And I haven't seen any comments yet, but of course I would love to hear from you later on. If you can be able to bring in your comments later after this video, that's also still okay. It's a continuous conversation because it never grows old. Okay, so otherwise guys, I appreciate you so much for tuning in. I can see that we have had so far over 57 live viewers for this content, and thank you so much, because this is actually the second live stream I'm doing. And I have said that every content or every piece of advice that has been said on this channel is my own views, and they are not expert views. And I've also said that they are just meant to jog your thoughts around the construction of your house. Otherwise, thank you so much. I want to let you go, guys, and see you in the next episode. Do let me know also what you want me to talk about. As always, if you have a construction project and want many people to come and learn from your project, you can just bring me on. I have also said, if you're building from abroad, you're out of the country, from diaspora, and you're doing construction back here at home, feel free to actually get in touch so that I can go and maybe tour your site, even just for audit purposes, to just know that what you have as your vision is actually what is being executed. And then about construction companies and contractors, I have actually learned in the process of capturing this story that not all construction companies and constructors, especially in rural Kenya, are doing a good job. So you really need to be on the watch out. Yeah. So just hiring a constructor or a contractor does not necessarily mean that now you can now close your eyes and enjoy, be stress free because now someone is taking over your project. No, some of these guys are taking over the project, but actually from my own observation they require a lot of supervision, lots of it. Okay, so guys, I would stop there. But bye for now. I really wanted to go on and on and on and on, but it is almost prime time. So I hope to catch up with you in the comment section. But guys, basically what I'm saying is avoid some of these things. Preempt them in advance. See you in the next episode. For me, it's a bye. If you haven't subscribed to this channel, please feel free to subscribe. Also comment, hit the bell so that you always get notifications when I come live or when I'm bringing you new content and new stuff. And most importantly, share your thoughts. Always feel free to share your thoughts. Let us know what you're thinking. Let us know how you're doing even. Yeah, and then also guys, you can join my channel so that you can become a member, so that you can always have early access to some of our content and even exclusive access to some of the content. And very soon we are going to have exclusive member only live sessions, so consider subscribing and joining also the channel so that you never miss any of this. Also, super chats are open on our channel. If you feel that our conversations, our content is inspiring and informative, educative to you, you can always also just throw in a thanks, say super thanks, say thanks by sending in something via the super chat. Okay, you can always also just get in touch with me via my phone number, which is +254. My number is +254 792 310 776. So that is my WhatsApp number. So you can always get in touch with me. I'll repeat, my number is +254 792 310 776. Wanjalaz. So you can always reach out to me on that number, WhatsApp me, get in touch with me. It's also my M-Pesa number. It is also my SendWave number. It is also the number that I use for communication. So please feel free to get in touch. Thank you so much, and bye.